PointsBet has the odds for the first snap to be taken by a quarterback for the Saints this year. There's Jameis Winston, minus 250. He's the favorite, plus 200. Taysom Hill, Ian Book, plus 1,600. Trevor Siemian, plus 2,000. I'd add another zero on the end of that one, frankly. All due respect to Trevor Siemian. Once the starter in Denver, though, after Brock Osweiler and Peyton Manning, 2016, and then he's been a backup ever since. I was surprised to see Winston as the favorite.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Well, because Taysom Hill was the guy last year. This is how I think Sean Payton threaded the needle. When Drew Brees got hurt in 2020, Payton said that Taysom played because he'd given his word to Taysom based on what happened the year before when it was Teddy Bridgewater who started 5 games and won all of them when Drew Brees was injured. But Sean Payton also said he had given his word to Jameis Winston he'd be allowed to compete for the job 2021.
Right.
Even though he wasn't under contract, he ended up staying. And it's going to be an open competition. And we get to see what's happened to Jameis Winston after a year of watching Drew Brees, learning from Drew Brees, learning from Sean Payton. This is a guy who threw for 5,000 yards. Yes, he had 30 interceptions. 5,000 yards, though. First overall pick in the draft. I guess when I think about it, the talent's there, the potential's there. I guess I won't be shocked if he ends up being the starter, Chris.
No, I won't either. I mean, we discussed this a lot last year when he was, a free agent and the Saints first signed him about his big-time playability. I mean, his last year in Tampa, hey, there's still a lot of really good. We know there was the interceptions and everything like that. But look, you can look here. These are some pretty impressive, statistics. I mean, those are, some baller-type things there. Now, we know the negatives and all of those type of things. But the point is that it's Sean Payton, the quarterback whisperer, the greatest offensive coordinator we've seen in the history of football. I mean, in that discussion, you know what I mean. A guy that can really, make a quarterback grow, and the guy's got big-time talent. There's big-time potential there. There really is. I think that's what we're saying. It could be one of those crazy, awesome stories. But I still would bet on Taysom Hill being the starter week 1. I would.
Which story's better, though? That's the thing.
I know, right?
Sean
They're
Payton,
both good.
With the opportunity to advance his own legend, what advances it more? Taking this guy who was undrafted, that no one really thought could play quarterback in the NFL, and turning him into a high-end starter, or reclaiming Jameis Winston and making him a high-end starter? Either one's a good story. It's just two different stories.
You're right. They're both awesome stories. I think he can win football games with either guy. There's no doubt about it. There'll be a little different formula, obviously. But, first off, you and I, over the last 2 years, how much have we talked about we know that Taysom Hill is Sean Payton's favorite pet project, whatever, toy. Like you said, he found this guy. He's into developing him. He's got a special skill set. He played pretty good last year. It wasn't great. I know it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty damn good. I mean, what was it? 3-1, 4-1? I can't remember exactly. They had that Eagles loss.
4-1.
Yeah, where they
4-1, I think.
I think it was 4-1, right? Yeah, the Eagles game where they kind of blew it in a lot of different ways. It wasn't Taysom Hill's fault they lost that football game. I just feel like with the way they're built and everything like that, and Sean Payton, I don't know why. I just feel like he's got a itch to do something different. And Taysom Hill is something different and going to be a different look and threat for opposing defenses. So if I had money, I'd bet. If I had your money, I'd bet on him.
Here's one. Wait, why wouldn't you bet your own money?
Yeah, because I'd rather have
what?
I'd rather have your money and then take it when I win.
Hey, yeah. So it's my loss, but you get the winnings.
Exactly.
I just get my money back. I'm the bank. I'm the bank that covers your losses and gives you the winnings. I get it.
Yes.
I think one of the factors for Sean Payton will be which of the guys is more flexible and adaptable when Payton shows up Sunday morning game day with 5 new plays that he thought of that night, right?
Yeah.
And which of these guys can run those plays and pick them up quickly, because we know that's what Sean Payton does. He's always on the lookout for new ideas. And I think that's a factor. If you can process, adapt, and run that play with like a walkthrough, in the hallway outside the buffet room at the hotel, then you're gonna be the guy that wins his trust.
It's a great point. It's a phenomenal point, and it's a point that holds more water with a guy like Sean Payton as compared to maybe the rest of the play callers in football. Because, it is a lot. There's a lot of verbiage, and that's why Drew Brees was awesome. Oh, Sean, hey, Sean could come into Drew Brees on a Saturday morning and be like, I noticed something on film yesterday. When I motioned to this, they play cover 3 all the time. So I drew up 9 different plays for cover 3. We're going to run them real quick in the walkthrough today. No big deal. And Drew, of course, is a computer and is like, okay, I got it straight. Sure, coach. All right. How do I read it? Okay, good. And then he goes out and dissects you. And you're right, though. There's real value to that. There's no doubt.
Yeah, and we won't know that until it happens, and maybe Peyton won't know it until it happens.
Yeah.
And there may be a certain amount of experimentation. That's what makes the preseason important this year. Last year, obviously, we didn't have one. This year, 3 games. I bet he gives Jameis one as a starter, Taysom one as a starter, just to see.
I agree.
Just to see how they prepare.
Right.
See, he'll test them. He'll throw some of those curveballs at them. He'll have some new plays that he jams into the game plan the day of the game, and he'll see how they react. I mean, I assume that's what he'll do based upon the way he's done things in the past. You have to see who's going to be adaptable to those changes that can come.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.